Hi, welcome to RF Insights. In this video, I'm going to give you a practical hint, or practical trick that I personally encounter in my work when I'm dealing with this recommendation P.452. So this recommendation P.452, the latest revision of it is revision 18. So this is for prediction procedure for the evaluation of interference between stations on the surface of the Earth at frequencies above 100 megahertz. So basically, when you have a transmitter and you have a receiver or a victim and interferer, and both of them are located on the surface of the Earth, this is a propagation model that is recommended to be used in order to evaluate the interference into the receiver. This is a pretty complex recommendation, so it's like 55 pages, and it's very complex. And the good thing is, if you're using some kind of commercial softwares in your work, you don't really need to know the details of this recommendation, but sometimes these softwares, for example, if I want to show you here the software that I am using, if I open the recommendation, this propagation model 452, you can see that there are a bunch of parameters that you can choose here, and some of them surprisingly change the results even when you slightly change them. For example, here there is a parameter, use fixed percentage, otherwise random. They don't even explain what it is, but it's like a time percentage that is used inside this recommendation P.452. And if you change this to like other values like 20% or 10% or even lower values, this is going to change the results tremendously. The amount of interference that the software predicts to enter the receiver changes so much by changing this parameter. So that's why I took a detailed look at this recommendation to see what this parameter P is. So if we go briefly go look at this recommendation, so basically it talks about the propagation mechanism of interference signal, the line of sight propagation, and the kind of the different types of loss that are considered for this propagation model: diffraction loss, tropospheric scatter, ducting, layering, reflection. So these anomalous propagation modes sometimes strengthen or enhance the interfering signal into the receiver, and they should be considered in some cases, because they are important. So if we go a little lower, so they talk about interference propagation mechanisms, line of sight, about diffraction, tropospheric scatter, and so these are the ways that the diffraction and tropospheric scatter can be felt in a receiver that's not even in the line of sight of the transmitter. And the ducting and other really rare but very severe types of propagation of the interference signal. So if you go a little lower, you are going to see that there is a parameter P. So this parameter P is the same one that we could change in this menu here for propagation model P.452. So this percentage that you see here is the same P value that's that is shown here on this on the screen. In the explanation of this parameter P, they say the propagation prediction models predict the annual distribution of basic transmission loss. For average year predictions, the percentage of time P for which particular values of basic transmission loss are not exceeded are used directly in the prediction procedure. So this I find it like pretty hard to find. I mean, a lot of these ITU-R documents are written in a language that's really confusing and sometimes really difficult to understand. But if I want to explain it in simple words to you, this parameter P that we have here that we can adjust is basically is the percentage of time that that the basic transmission model or mode is not exceeded. For example, if it is 50%, that means 50% of the time in a year the propagation conditions is normal, and in 50% the propagation conditions is not normal. Therefore, it's favorable towards the interference signal. That means you are gonna experience more than normal interference in your receiver. Okay, if you put it if you kind of bring it down to 20%, again, that means 20% of the time your propagation is normal, is not normal, but 80% of the time your propagation is normal. In 20% that is not normal, that means the interference is felt more. So as you bring this p-value lower and lower, that means your irregular or anomalous propagation modes are more severe but still rare. Okay, in other words, if the short-term interference effects are very important for you, you have to consider lower values of this P here. For example, if you are trying to simulate the interference into a radar that's on a ship on the ocean, it's better to consider this p-value here very low values like 0.01 or even 0.001. So basically the allowed range for this P is from 0.001 to 50. So 50 is the maximum, 0.001 is the lowest value you can give to this parameter. For such severe cases like a ship on the ocean, it is recommended that you use low values of the P percentage of time in order to be able to capture the short-term interference events, and also be able to model anomalous propagation models that are very severe, but at the same time they occur very rarely. So that's it that I wanted to talk about here, about this propagation model P.452. I know it's not everyone works with this, but I thought maybe if someone somehow is stuck with interpretation of this p-value, this video might help. So please let me know if you have any questions. If you want me to dive deeper into this recommendation, I can do that too. So please leave me a comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. And thank you very much for your attention, and have a good time.